These videos showcase examples of powerful initiatives that are addressing root causes of gaps in achievement and gaps in opportunity.
Each year, more than 2 million arrests are made of youth, resulting in approximately 300,000 to 600,000 admissions to secure detention. Of these children detained, 2/3 are of racial or ethnic minorities, arrested at rates that are out of proportion to the rate of their unlawful behavior.
When youth are unnecessarily detained, they have negative outcomes for their future.
Juvenile detention reveals a system that is arbitrary, discriminatory, and ineffective.
JDAI has had a huge impact on our county. We went from averaging 100 youth per day in our juvenile detention center in 2005 and 2006. We fast forward to now, 2011, 2012, we average about 30, 35 youth. No longer are we keeping youth in the detention center that don't pose a risk to public safety.
Detention is a growing expense in many jurisdictions. In some places, the average cost to operate a detention bed exceeds $70,000 annually.
Counter to what most people would think, the reduction in detention population did not result in an increase in juvenile crime. So millions of dollars have been saved because alternatives to detention, such as having community coaches or having people monitor to see if they're going to come to court or not, has proven much more effective as well as cost-effective.
Young people are in school for only 6.5 hours, and they're out of school for the rest of the day. So if you add those hours up, there's 2,000 discretionary hours that we have an opportunity to use. If you look at where crimes occur, both when young people are perpetrators or victims of a crime, it happens during those out-of-school hours.
Lowering juvenile detention populations are commensurate with improved public safety strategies. There is a likelihood that kids will have a much greater chance of avoiding adult criminal behaviors if they are diverted from secure detention to community alternatives.
Education can be a great equalizer, but I think one thing that's missing is that you need to address disparities within juvenile justice system in order for young people to be able to access the great equalizer of education. We have within schools push factors pushing young people out of school, and we have the justice system factors that are pulling kids of color disproportionately into the criminal justice system, and we need to address both. And that requires coordinated efforts between the juvenile justice system and the education system. People who are concerned about the achievement gap need to also be concerned about the disparities in the juvenile justice system.
52% of all suspensions in school is black males. That's a problem. When 80% of suspensions are for African Americans, that's a problem. When the vast majority of referrals to police is for students of color, that's a problem.
JDAI is a process, not a conventional program, which means JDAI helps restructure policy and practice to create systems improvements that reach far beyond detention alone.
It really is a positive program that has worked collaboratively with the county, the bench, and with the Department of Community Corrections and other justice partners to get positive outcomes for young people. So it's really been a win-win.
Maxfield is a school that's been around for well over 100 years. The initial building sat in the middle of '94. As a school community, we're about 85% African American, and we're 98–99% free and reduced lunch. I had the opportunity to meet Elder Atum and to learn about the work of the Cultural Wellness Center.
The Wellness Center came into existence in 1996, and we've always worked with institutions that are state them that they really want to engage community.
We had been talking on and on about we needed to find just the right place to bring this all together. And so when I became the principal at Maxfield, I called Elder Atum and I said, I've got the place. And we came up with the title Center for Culture, Families, and Learning.
So we have Promise Neighborhood, we have the St. Paul Children's Collaborative, we have the University of Minnesota, the Wellness Center, and Maxfield really partnering here.
Our job is to be a place that supports African people. My daughter Maria, when she joined the program, you know, helping you achieve and tell you and explain to you what your African American culture is. It's okay to be a black girl. It's okay to be different. It's okay that you're skinny with full lips and short hair. It's okay. And for her, that made a total difference in who she was.
I grew up Polish. That cultural heritage is so important to me, and it's such a piece of who I am. And where you come from gives you strength to face adversity as you move forward. It gives you strength in knowing who you are.
We lift up what is culture, and we lift up how to study culture, how to build culture, how to understand culture, and how to see the world through culture in a positive way.
I bring one set of expertise to the table. For me, it was about recognizing my own limitations. That first year we had a huge issue with bullying. And I, of course, went to all the technical solutions we do in schools, which is, you know, if you do this, then you get this warning. If you continue to do it, then you get dismissed from school. If you continue to do it, then you get suspended, and all those technical solutions. Elder Atum looked at me and she said, Nancy, I need you to slow. I need you to just slow down. Because the children are just the messengers. And if we don't heal the community, all those things you're doing over here are not going to change it. And so we stepped back. I stepped off the edge and pulled my staff back with me and said, guys, we need to hang on. We need to work with the Cultural Wellness Center and help the community. And so we spent that year really focusing on work with our parents about healing the community and helping that part of it. The set of resources that Elder Atum brought to the table is not something that I have available to me. And I think it is absurd for me to walk into this school and think that I would have all the resources I would need in order to make it a successful place for children.
I think what's most impressive is the principal's willingness to adopt a shared leadership model with a trusted community organization in the Cultural Wellness Center and a community elder in Elder Atum. I think that partnership has resulted in increased parent engagement and moved the school to really embrace parents in ways where parents help transform the school climate and the school environment, which is essential to addressing disparities, in my opinion.
With my daughter Talasia, she was falling short in math and reading, and her scores went up 30%. Just from the after-school programs, just from the Project Spirit program, and the Cultural Wellness Center standing behind her.
This Center for Cultural Wellness has really helped this school progress, because before this came here, it was, the parent nights were like 2 or 3 people, and me and my wife were usually 2 of them. So, like, as you see now, it was full today. The center is here because they're making a big difference, and so is the principal.
The academic achievement, I just had a first grade teacher today ask me for level O books, because she's got 6 kids in her classroom that are reading at that level, and she's never had that before. So we've got those kinds of things happening. I had a 3rd grade team that was talking and looking at their kids' winter benchmark reading scores and really believing they can hit about 58–60% of their kids passing the MCA test this spring. You know, we were only at 19% passing in 3rd grade back in April of 2010. So we've made huge gains, and those test scores will go up. But the biggest thing is the change in culture in the building. You can walk through the building and you can see students engaged in their learning. That's hard to quantify, but that's the real change. And it's that change that's going to lead to high test scores.